had a boom mic that close to my nose. I know.
And do you want my eyeline to the camera?
No, to her.
Great.
We have scene 3, take 2, Mark.
Start talking, stop HIV.
Act against AIDS.
Protect yourself and your partner.
Inicia la conversación. Detenga el VIH.
There are more HIV prevention options than ever before. Start talking. So today we're going to be filming Start Talking, Stop HIV.
We are talking about HIV.
What's really going on among gay men of color and transmasculine folks.
I want to contribute to the conversation.
Because for a long time, HIV and homosexuality were coupled.
There's still a huge stigma around HIV that has gotten slightly better, but it's still there.
As someone who's HIV positive, we're not sick, we're not dying, we're not dirty.
Usually if HIV is talked about, it's shaming, it's a lot of misinformation.
I think that makes people afraid to talk about it, which means they're afraid to have any sort of conversation, even moving forward positively, which needs to change.
Culturally, myself, being from the Caribbean, you know, I come from a family where we don't have these conversations. And I think that it is time that we do. It's only going to be better if we start having these conversations.
Having conversations with people could be difficult because it's completely new for them. My parents have had an interesting time with a very out, proud gay son.
I've been positive for just over 10 years. When I was 27, I met someone who was HIV positive. I've never seen someone so stigmatized.
I don't think people like talking about sex, but that's how you contract HIV most of the time, through sex.
That's something that really leaves somebody vulnerable, especially when you're in a high-risk population, such as a gay male.
I know, speaking from my experiences as a trans person of color, a lot of trans spaces are kind of dominated by white trans people.
And it just makes us feel extremely isolated, you know, on top of everything else.
If not a lot of people are acknowledging your gender identity or your sexual identity, you yourself might start to internalize that and keep it under wraps, and as a result, not want to seek out resources.
I want people to not be uncomfortable. You know, I want people to not be ashamed.
We have more tools at our disposal now to protect ourselves from HIV than we have at any point ever.
So in the past, I dated someone who was HIV positive, and the moment I made up my mind that knowing was better than not knowing, everything just kind of became easier for me.
I talk to my friends about HIV prevention because I'm on PrEP.
Treatment as prevention is when HIV positive individuals adhere to medication to the point where the virus is extremely low.
I use condoms and PrEP.
You got tested, I think, a month or two
Like
ago.
a month or two ago.
I got tested
He's
2
in
weeks ago.
Pride.
I think condoms are great. Condoms are sexy.
There's so many options open to the public to protect their bodies.
None of those tools work if we aren't able to talk about them.
My shop teacher in grade school would be shocked to hear me talking so much about tools.
Have the conversation, make it a positive experience.
We're human, we have the same issues.
To not have the conversation is to have blinders on and pretend it doesn't exist.
Conversation is a very powerful thing, and that can help lead to a cure.
Join the conversation about testing, your status, condoms, PrEP, and medicines that treat HIV. Learn more at cdc.gov/starttalking.